A question that I get asked quite often during training courses is whether Excel allows us to reference an entire column within a formula or function, like this, or this. And the answer is yes. However, doing so is considered to be not good practice. Referencing an entire column is inefficient and can result in slow calculations. And this is because Excel has to check every cell in the column, even if 99% of them are blank. And that is over 1 million cells. So, why might you want to reference an entire column? Why do people keep asking the question? It's because in many instances, the column contains a list of items and the amount of data will grow over time as new rows get added to the list. Of course, the answer is to convert your list into a table. Tables automatically expand as new data gets added to the bottom of the list. Any formulas that reference the table automatically update. However, there are some circumstances where using tables won't work, and I'm going to include an example of that later. So, back to the subject of this video. TrimRange is a new function. It was added to Excel in late 2024. In fact, at the time of recording this video, it's still only available to users on the 365 Beta Insiders channel. But like most features, it will eventually make its way into general availability. But what exactly does TrimRange do? It excludes all the empty rows and columns from a range, which means that if your formula references an entire column, Excel will only need to look at the cells that contain data. If you want to follow along, you can download a copy of the practice file from the link in the description below. When you open the demo file, you might see a message about circular references. Don't worry, it's the way I've set up the third demo. Just ignore it and click on OK. Here, column A contains some numbers. At the end of each week, the sales manager enters a number representing the number of units sold that week into the next cell in column A. Column D contains two formulas. D1 adds up the numbers in column A, and D2 adds up the numbers in A1 to A52. As I just explained, although both of these formulas will work, they can cause performance issues, so I'll amend both of them. I'll go up to the one in D1 first, and instead of just sum of column A, I will add TrimRange, open brackets, I've got the column A, and put in a closing bracket at the end. And I'll do the same thing for the second one. Just wrap A1 to A52 within a TrimRange function and put in another closing bracket at the end. The first formula is still referencing the whole of column A. The second formula is referencing A1 to A52, but they are only looking at A1 to A8. Now, when I add a number into A9, the formulas update and they are looking at A1 to A9. Now, let's say I delete the contents of A5. The function still works. You might have expected those formulas to look at A1 to A4. However, TrimRange doesn't remove empty rows or columns from inside the dataset. It only removes unused rows and columns outside the range that contains the data, so anything below row 9 in this example. In this example, I need to extract the first name from each of the names in column A. Now this list could grow, so the formula that I'm going to enter in B2 will reference the whole of column A. So I'm going to use the TEXTBEFORE function to extract the text before the space. So TEXTBEFORE, if I click on the letter A, it will put in the reference to column A, put in a comma, and then a space in double quotes, and enter. And what that does is that extracts all the text before the space, as I said, of every cell in column A. You'll notice that there are errors where there is nothing in column A, and that actually goes all the way down to the bottom of the spreadsheet, all the way down to row 1,048,576. Now, if I save the file and I close the file size is actually 5.5 megabytes. Just remember that. Let's reopen the file. I'm going to edit the formula, and like I did with the other example, I'm going to wrap the reference to column A within the TrimRange function. And you'll notice two things. First of all, although the formula is still referencing the whole of column A, it's ignoring anything below row 10. So the blue border only goes to row 10. That's because TrimRange is a dynamic array function. You'll also notice that the NAs have disappeared, and if I save the file and close it down, the file size has shrunk radically to 15 kilobytes. In this last demo, in F4, I've used the filter function to display the records from the table called sales, which is columns A to D, where the state is whatever is in G1. In I1, I want to display the total revenue for orders from that state. We've got two problems here. One, the number of rows in the table will increase. And two, I don't know how many rows the filter function will return. It depends on the selected state. So I entered a formula into I1 that sums the whole of column I. But because the formula is in column I, I've got a circular reference. With a result, the revenue is displaying 0. Now, if you don't know what a circular reference is, it's when a formula refers to itself. So in this example, the formula is in column I, I1, and the formula itself refers to column I. Now, I can't convert columns F to I into a table and then sum the numbers in the revenue column of the table, and that's because the filter function is a dynamic array function, and tables don't play nicely with dynamic array functions. Let me show you. I'm in F4, I'll press Ctrl and T to create a table, click OK. It comes up with an alert. I'm going to say yes, I want to continue. And I now get a spill error. So let's just undo that. That's not going to work. What happens if I use TrimRange? So I'll go up to I1, I'll edit the formula, and I will wrap TrimRange around the reference to column I. As you can see, I still have a circular reference. One option would be to move the sum function over to another cell anywhere apart from column I, and that has solved the problem. That's removed the circular reference, but that's not what I want to do. I want to have the formula in I1. So how I'm going to solve this one is to add the drop function into the formula. So I'll go up to I1, edit the formula, keep the sum in there, but before TrimRange, I'm going to type drop open bracket, click after the closing bracket of the TrimRange, put in a comma, as that's the argument separator, and type in a 3. What this formula is doing is adding up the numbers in column I, but it's starting at the 4th cell down. Drop means exclude. 3 tells it how many rows to exclude. So add up the numbers in column I, but starting at the 4th cell down, drop or exclude the first 3 rows and exclude anything that is outside the range of numbers. We found a typo in your formula. That's because I've forgotten to add a second closing bracket at the end. So yes, I'm going to accept Excel's autocorrection, and there we go. Now, just to test that, if I go and add another row at the bottom of the table for Georgia, and I'll just copy and paste rather than typing, what it's now done is it's added that into the filter, but it's also increased the sum. Well, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like more Excel tips and tricks, check out my website at theexceltrainer.co.uk. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, have an excellent day.